Bonjour, this is Jasmine. Thank you so much for stopping to smell the roses on Rue Madame. For those of you who are new to the neighborhood, I am a writer, a storyteller, and a community builder. I write about culture, politics, parenthood, and my life here in France. I have a blog over on Patreon discussing all of those topics and even more. Check out the latest blog that I posted. It is a review of the movie Soul, and it's very thorough and sincere, and I really enjoy doing that review. So head over there, make a pledge, and become a member. This video, I'm talking about the 5 movies I enjoyed the most in 2020. So either they were movies that came out in 2020 or they were movies I saw for the first time in 2020. So without further ado, I'm going to start with my first, and it's in no particular order, but I chose The Lovebirds for the first movie that I really just was surprised because I saw mixed reviews about it. It's starring Issa Rae, who I love to death. If you don't know who she is the creator of Insecure on HBO, and her co-star is Kumai Najani. Hopefully I said his name right. But he's also a comedian, very famous and talented. Lovebirds, oh my God, it was so cute, and it was funny, but not just funny. It was awkward funny. And if you know anything about Issa Rae, she is the queen of awkward. And I am too, if you haven't noticed from my videos. And their chemistry was the spark that made this movie lovable. I enjoyed it because I had it had surprises, it had a story, it was witty, and that's not very common with rom-coms. It was just quirky, and it was suspenseful too, and it had like a surprise ending. It was just really, really good. So I highly recommend it, and it's underrated too. Um, it was supposed to come out in theaters, but because of the pandemic, it was switched to like an online service. So, yeah, that's my first movie that I really, really liked in 2020. The director of this movie is Michael Showalter. So yeah, check that out. The second movie on my list of movies of 2020 that I really, really, really liked was The Photograph. And it's no coincidence that Issa Rae is also the star of this movie, but it was really, really good. And this movie stars Issa Rae and Lakeith Stanfield, directed by Stella McGee. Oh my God! If you know the movie The Notebook, it's like a classic romantic movie. It's kind of like a staple. But the photograph is, up there. It's up there. I think it surpasses The Notebook. It's kind of the same type of storyline of two young people falling in love, and then eventually going their separate ways at one point. I don't want to spoil it. I know. But it was Black love on full display. It was romantic, and the story had many layers. So you had different generations in the movie, and showing how the Black love spans years and years. And yeah, it was really good. The movie really shows the humanity and vulnerability of the characters in their relationship that isn't really highlighted in most films. Um, what else? And the connection, the chemistry again was really, really good. And I have like I guess it's not secret anymore, but like a secret crush on Lakeith Stanfield. Um, I don't know when like really started to like him. He was in Get Out. He was in the trailer that's with the guy screaming, "Get out, get out!" And then he kind of like was in a whole bunch of movies after that. I saw him in, what was that movie? Me and John Paul love that movie too. It's Sorry to Bother You. Really weird and like weird. It was a weird movie, but it was really, really good and had a deep message to it too about social norms and the social constructs that are easily broken with capitalism and um, the workforce and just how that can tear on you. And they mentioned, I don't want to give that away too, but watch Sorry to Bother You too. If you like Lakeith Stanfield, you like good movies, that was a really good one too. So yeah, so my number two movie was The Photograph, and also the director is a Black woman, so you can't go wrong like very often with that. Um, so yeah, I really like that movie. So tell me what movies that you liked in 2020 that I may have missed. But yeah, leave a comment. The next movie I saw in 2020, and I think it came out the year before, maybe in 2019, is Knives Out. Did you guys see Knives Out with Daniel Craig, the James Bond guy? And it starred Lakeith Stanfield. I know, it's like very repetitive, but I like Daniel Craig a lot. I think he is a very talented actor. Like most mainstream actors are like either get off with their looks or they are just, I don't know, are just in the industry for a long time and their names are really known. And it's not really common, I don't think, nowadays that you have a really talented actor that have range. But Daniel Craig in the James Bond movies, of course, but also in The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. I don't know if you've seen that movie. It stars Daniel Craig and he plays like a journalist. So he went from a spy to a journalist, and in this movie, he's a detective. Um, and he's really convincing. He's funny. I like him a lot. I like this movie a lot. And Lakeith Stanfield is like the icing on top. He was really funny too. But it was suspenseful, and I love a whodunit. It was a whodunit movie with famous actors like what's her name? Jamie Lee Curtis was in the movie also. It's like a big family who have a death in the family, and it may be a murder, but we don't know. So watch the movie. And that was directed by Ryan Johnson. My next movie that I really liked that I saw in 2020, it came out at the end of 2020. I'm sure you recently heard about it. Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. I actually mentioned and did my 2 cents on it in a recent video, but I wanted to really like highlight this movie because it was a theatrical masterpiece. And like I said before, it's kind of like a play in movie form. So there was a lot of monologues. It was more based on what they said and not what you saw. But everything just flowed really well. The acting was on 10. Everyone was exceptional. Chadwick Boseman, this was his last film. Um, and it starred Viola Davis as well, who is an Oscar winning worthy actress, beautiful woman, and just all around impeccable talent. The entire movie spoke to all of the ills in the music industry, and I guess you can relate that to the Hollywood in general. But it was about Ma Rainey, who was a blues singer, and it was about her life. And in this movie, it took place in like one scene in one location. And it's funny because I watched it with my husband, and he was talking about how this type of movie is very common in French cinema. And I was thinking, because there's even a word for that type of those type of movies in French. I forget what it is. I don't know, but where it takes place in one room sometimes, and it's a group of people, and it's more about the interactions between the people than anything else. But yeah, it was really, really good. It talks about the gross thievery in the music industry from Black culture. Um, and how the industry and the dominant culture take from Black culture and from Black excellence and from Black talent to exploit it, to give it to the masses, in sometimes in the form of white artists by, like taking their writing or not giving the compensation that they deserve, etc. It was so profound. Everything was intentional with the stories each character told about their own lives. Oh my God. Viola Davis played that role. You wouldn't even notice, like, realize it was Viola Davis because she kind of like was captivated by this personality that she was playing. She was fierce. She didn't take no stuff. She was bold. She like made me laugh. Like, no, we doing it my way. It was so funny. And it was like, it had comical, but it was very serious too. It was really, really serious. And Chadwick Boseman it was maybe his best performance I've ever seen him do. It was like, you know how you close the curtains and you take your bow. That's what this movie is. What for him, he was like, it was a standing ovation performance, and oh my God, it really touched me just knowing that he put his all, literally his all, into his last hurrah, and it was. I really highly recommend Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. It isn't the cheeriest, but it was good. It was really good. So that's number 4. My 5th movie that I really, really liked was, can you guess it? Guess it. So guess it before I tell you. Okay, so Jingle Jango. Did you guys see Jingle Jango? It was really good. Like, first of all, I'm not a musical person. I don't like watching musical movies. I'm not into the like singing for most of it. I don't know. Maybe I'm not that. I don't know. I'm just not a musical person in general. And it starred Forest Whitaker and Felicia Rashad, and there were introduced a lot of new actors and actresses and these little kids that were in the movie. Beautiful kids, very talented, lovable. It was really, really good. And David E. Talbert, and he also wrote the screenplay, if I'm not mistaken. Black director, Black cast, and I read a little bit of his interviews by David Talbert, and he was talking about how he wanted to create something that was more modern and that featured little Black children, because most musicals, fantasy, imagination, adventure, creative, Christmas movies, especially Christmas movies, don't really feature little Black children. So I think he made it for his daughter, and it was just really, really good. I was wowed, and it's probably one of the very, very few movies that I watch with my kids, because they're only 4 and 2, so I'm not really into like really long movies. They don't really sit for very long anyway. But we saw it as a family. It was around Christmas. It was before Christmas. But yeah, the powerhouse voices, singers in this musical movie, it was breathtaking. They had dance numbers that was out of this world. It was on point. It was really on point. It was like really good. And the wardrobe just made you want to like put on a tutu or something and go dancing and flipping and, flailing in a musical magical world, The choreography was great. And it was just melanin, magic, and music all in one. It was just so good. It was a good, great family movie, kid movie, Christmas movie. It was just awesome. It was long, but it was worth it. And I think most musicals are like longer than, the average movie. But yeah, I put that on my list of the 5 top movies that either came out in 2020 or I saw for the first time in 2020. So tell me what you think. Tell me if your list is different. If you haven't seen these movies, go check it out. And then when you check those out, head over to Patreon, where I have bonus content on the different reviews and reactions to movies, articles, movements. And also check out the Rue Madame boutique. And the latest designs are there. I'm so excited about that. And we're doing the book club. I'm on my beginning stages in my first, second chapter of White Teeth by J.D. Smith. So yeah, all of that on Rue Madame. Thank you so much for supporting. And I'll see you next time. Bye.